Woo! Okay, here we are. It's book launch day, and Tiina and I are we're doing the dance. We're so excited. We're so excited because today we have put up your book, Tiina. Today we have our book in our hot little hands, and it is our special day. And you know what? That's the fun thing about going live. You could just make a party. You just have a party anytime. Doesn't matter what day of the week. Tiina and I just went, okay. Actually, here's a little backstory. When we were trying to figure out the date in order to go live, we were looking at our calendars and we knew we wanted a date in December. And so we were looking at our calendars, on a Zoom call, and I saw December 12th, 12/12, 24, which kind of is a cool date anyways, right? 12/12 adds up to 24. It was Jeff Young's birthday. So we need live on Jeff Young's birthday. So, Jeff, we're going live for you. We know you're not here, but we love you anyways. So, anyways, Tiina, say hello.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the book launch party. And like you said, if the date is in the calendar, then it happens. We were like, are we going to make it? How much time we need for editing? How much time we need for Amazon to upload everything? So when you have it in your calendar, then it actually comes true.
Yay! It's so true. It's so true. And you just have to, have that date. And here's another funny thing. So in the United States, we do like month, day, year. I think that's how we do it. And you do it the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So, and that is the
logical way.
Yes. So to you, it's just kind of like how we don't do metric and you do metric, and I can't do 24-hour time because my brain just can't do it. So like if Tiina says, let's meet at 1600, I have no idea what that means. I'll say, please convert that into American for me. I can't tell it. But the funny thing is, if we had picked, say, December 11th, if I'd written it 12/11, Tiina would have written it 11/12. We would have screwed it up. So we would not have made it. So we actually had to pick. There was no other date in December except 12/12, Tiina, because it wouldn't have worked.
So here we are.
So, okay. So today is our special day. We've launched our book. We did a pre-order of the Kindle, but today the paperback's also available. Just want to let everybody know right off the top that we have a special discount today, $1.99 for the Kindle book. It's normally going to be $4.99. So you get a deal if you get it today. And we're going to that's as much pitching as we're doing. Most of this live, what we want to do is we just want to celebrate. We want to talk about our process because we've learned so much and we're hoping others will learn about the book, but also learning about writing the book. So we want to kind of do two different things. So let me actually go ahead and put up our banner so people know what we're talking about. So this is the name of your book, Your Voice Matters, Present from the Heart. Tip, the hardest thing of this book was figuring out the title. It was just, and for so long, this book, what was the real title for the longest time until we chose a title? Do you remember? GNT.
Yeah, GNT.
So we called it G&T the book, right? Gin and tonic. And we just, G for Gillian, D for Tiina. And that for the longest time is like, that was our name because we just went, if we get stuck trying to figure out the name for the book, we're never going to get this silly thing written. So we decided we're just going to go with this pseudo name and then some brilliance will come, and it did, and we came up with the title for the book. But for the longest time, it was just G&T, and it's still like that in my folders, like in all my, on my computer, everything still just says G&T the book. So it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. So just to give you the backstory of this book, Tiina and I, we've known each other for several years now, and our dream was to one day meet each other. And if you read the book, you'll see that there's a whole story about that. And our dream came true through Uplift Live, and we got to meet each other. And as we were both speakers at the event, we decided we'd help each other by helping each other prepare for our presentations. And so, this was like our first conference after COVID and, getting up on a big stage and this was a really big stage, like 4 double-decker buses high was the screen. It was amazing. And so we kind of held hands and helped each other, across the world without ever meeting and just knowing each other virtually. And then, of course, a couple of days before the conference, we met for the first time in person in London, and it was just an adventure in itself. And then I don't know actually when it came about, Tiina. What do you remember what inspired us to write the book in the first place? Because we just knew we had to do this. Do you remember what happened?
I remember from Uplift Live, that was in March, the same day that we were presenting. I also launched my first book, and it was such an amazing feeling. It was like having another baby. It was such a big thing, and you had also launched several books. So I think that's kind of where we started thinking, I think there is a story that we would like to share with others, and why not write a book about it?
I love that. I love that. And it's so true. It was just like not planned. It just kind of came organically. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is that if you get an intuitive hit, and I'm sorry, I'm woo-woo people using words like intuitive hit, but when you kind of get that little whisper in your ear that says, there's a book in this, you should lean into that because it happens. It happens that happens. Oh, and by the way, we must show off our mugs. We got book mugs. If you can see this, we got branded book mugs that, and they're even on the back. So it's like, so the front of the mug says, your voice matters. And then the back of the mug says, present from the heart. And it's even got Tiina's little sketch note on it. And she has a nicer nail, so she can show the mug. So, that's the fun thing is you lean into this stuff and you just say, it's so fun. It's so fun. And the very fact that now the book can hold it in my hot little hands. It took so long for me to get this book too. I was just sitting forever with the proof. You got it first because Amazon does better with books over in Europe than it does in America. So just a weird thing.
I think there is also a video clip from
yes.
Our process is talking on a Zoom call, and maybe you can show that one so people can see behind the scenes how it looks like when you have your writer's hat on.
Okay, so this is a clip. We had already decided to do the book. This was our first Zoom meeting, so I'm not going to play the whole Zoom meeting. It's like a 1-minute clip, but it's just a snippet. And I wanted everybody to kind of see, this is the process we made. So we'll show the clip and it's about a minute long, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So here we go. Okay, so this is Zoom meeting 1 for the G&T, Gin and Tonic, the Gin and Tonic Guide to presentations. I love it. Woo-hoo-hoo. So afterwards, I'll transcribe this for us and then we'll kind of go with it. So let's kind of figure out what our topics are, and we can just kind of brainstorm, go off the top of our head, maybe just kind of go in sequential order. I had it all worked out in my head the other night, but I was like sleeping and there was nobody to take notes. But some of the ideas that I thought were just kind of like, okay, there was the imposter syndrome. So dealing with that, kind of like, oh my gosh, like compared to like all the other speakers, me, really, so, just dealing with that feeling that you get with imposter syndrome. There we go. So it was great that we had let's go on Zoom, and that's part of our process. We went on Zoom, and I think I actually have a banner about, what was the process? How did we do this? And so that Zoom meeting was literally just a few days after Uplift Live. I was actually still in the UK. I was in Cromer. I think Tiina had just got home. And so you literally were back maybe in Brussels, 2 days or something like that. So Tiina just got home and we decided, let's do this while everything is fresh in our head. And we just said, we'll record this on Zoom. We had no idea what we would do with any of it. So we just said, we'll record it. we'll transcribe it, and then we'll go from there. And what's interesting is, if you kind of fast forward in the time machine now to where we're at today, when you actually read our book, it actually has Gillian, Tiina, like it goes back and forth. So it's a conversation, because the title of the book is Your Voice Matters. And we thought that was actually important, that Tiina's voice is one distinct way and my voice is another distinct way. And we thought making it so you knew who was talking, maybe you just kind of hear us both in your head. And a few people who have read the book already, advanced readers, have said, I hear you. I know when it's you. I know when it's Tiina. The fact that it's like, I only speak one language, Tiina speaks 9. It's like you can just see there's differences with the way that we speak, and just everything we do. So I think that was a good choice, don't you, Tiina?
Yeah, and I think it also reflects our love for books, that we read a lot of books, both of us. And I've seen a book from Oprah that she has co-written with another author, and they are also having the same setup. So I thought, why don't we not invent the wheel and just do like Oprah did?
And if Oprah does it, it's okay by me. I was going to say 3 thumbs up. I don't have 3 thumbs, 2 thumbs up for Oprah. So I love that. I love that. And speaking of Oprah, I'm not going to spoil it, but Oprah actually had an influence on this book, and, Tiina and I getting to know each other. So that's just sort of our little secret. We'll leave it there with Oprah. But one thing I want to point out is, in that clip, I showed the real chapter, because of course now I'm looking at the clip as like the book is out, and I saw those clips a couple of days ago, and I was like, me, I'm the repurposed queen. I went, I should do something with these clips, and I am doing something with these clips. So one of the things I put in the clip was our chapter with a sketch note. And so that's what I'd love to talk about next, Tiina, is the role that your sketch notes had in shaping this book. So do you want to talk about your whole process for adding in the sketch notes? Because there's a sketch note for every single chapter in this book.
Yes, there is. And that was a real challenge. In my previous book, I had also done sketch notes, the illustrations for my book. And I thought it would be fun to also have it, because it's part of my voice. And for visual learners, you get a really good insight what's coming in the chapter. So the sketch notes always come after the text. So it really summarizes very quickly what the chapter is about. And if you're lost, just look at the color pictures and you'll find your way. So it always starts with the text, and then the pictures come later, and they come as a surprise to me as well. The colors, how they end up. And this time it was more challenging because it was more abstract concepts. So it was also a very nice learning curve. I was like, I promised Gillian I would do the sketch notes, but I don't know how I'm going to make it, because it's so different. But in the end, we got there.
Oh, and they're absolutely brilliant. They're adorable. I loved every single one. And they're all so different. And I think of them as like cheat sheets now, so that like if you were to read the book, and, and we encourage people, when you read the book, it's like you're having a cup of tea with us. It's like we encourage you to just read the book. It's an airplane read, which means like 2 hours, you've read the whole book. This is like an easy read. But the nice thing is that if you read it through, then those sketch notes are like cheat sheets. They're like the chapter summaries, where you can go back and it's like, oh, what was the takeaway? And it's always the takeaway, the little things about, imposter syndrome and the mirror, and, just all those things. You'll remember it, and you'll also say, oh, phew, it's not just me. Like we always think anything to do with public speaking, we always think, oh, everyone else is totally okay with this. It's just me. That is not true. We all do the same thing. Every speaker gets nervous. Every speaker, figures out all the different things to do when something goes wrong, and how to handle a crazy question or something that happens when you're speaking. So it happens to all of us. So I love those sketch notes. So let's talk about the other visuals in the book, Tiina. So what do we have besides your lovely sketch notes? What else did we include in the book?
I think, like you said, when it comes to public speaking, the preparation is really the key, and it's a messy process. So we have we talk about mind maps, and between the two of us, your handwriting when it came to our mind maps is much better. So there is a picture of your mind map, how to write it, and if we would write, it needs to be messy, and we would put a perfect image. It wouldn't be the same. So it's really the pictures from the process and also from the conference from Birmingham earlier this year with our presentation. So you really can see, get an idea if you weren't there, how it was, and be part of it.
I love that. I love that. And as a matter of fact, let me see if I can just show a picture. So here is a picture of another visual that was in our presentation. Was in our book. My brain's going crazy this morning. And these were sketch notes of an artist that came, and Phoebe Robinson, she came and she did sketch notes at the conference. And we put those in the book, as well as photographs. We have there was a conference photographer, and we have his, it's so small I can't read it on the screen, but we have his pictures as well. So I think that's just kind of interesting to include that in the book too. But one thing I want to point out, and this was something new to me, you just can't go, putting Tiina's sketches in our book was like easy peasy. Tiina owns those, so there's no copyright stuff. And my crazy mind map was just like, hand drawn and, scanned, and that's it. So that was no problem. But then all of a sudden it was just like, well, how do we include other people's stuff? That was just something that we really had to think about. So of course, what we did was we went to the Uplift Live mission control team, and we asked them, can we have permission for this? And they were like, I think you actually have to go to the creators and get their permission. So we had to go to the official conference photographer, and he graciously gave his permission, and we credited him in the book. And the same with the visual sketch artist. We put her, gave her a credit in the book. And then we had your friend, and she did a video, a photograph as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. And we credited her in the book.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's really important. You can't just, especially if you think, oh, I'll just Google some images and throw them in my book. Ooh, you want to make sure that you have permission to use those. So I saved all of the emails where people gave me permission. I have them in a folder. I gave credit to the person. So that's just that was a good lesson to learn, don't you think, with doing this whole book?
And I think with your previous book, with the Bitmojis, which is a fun element that you bring to your content, but you
can't put them in a book.
Yeah, buy the rights to use it. You can't have it in the book.
No, and that was actually disappointing. And I had actually learned that by John Asperian, our common mentor, Tiina and I's mentor. And he wanted to put Bitmoji John in his original Content DNA book, and they said no, you can't use it for any kind of monetary use. So it was just like, darn. And he actually even offered to pay. He's like, okay, I love my Bitmo John so much, I'll pay you. What can I do? And they said, nope, we don't license them at all. So I had to make sure that I didn't include any pictures of Bitmo Gillian, in the book. She can be in other things, but she didn't get to be in the book. So she was really sad, and she's not talking to me now. So I thought that was kind of fun. So anything else? Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, yes. So what are some techniques from the book that people could practice today? Should we give them a tip, Tiina?
Maybe you can start with one.
Okay. So probably one of the biggest things I would say go back to the mind mapping. So that was one thing. And you don't even need to read my book, read our book in order to mind map. That's something everybody can do. But that is something that's really important when you're doing any kind of presentations and you want to practice. Because the thing is that mind mapping allows you to kind of get that big picture view of what your talk is going to be about. But the very fact of making the mind map, and this is a secret Toastmasters tip, people, if you make a mind map of what you're going to talk about, that's actually a cheat sheet. And the very fact that you make it helps you organize your thoughts, helps you see all the different things that you want to cover. And literally, I have been in a spot where I had to give a talk, spur of the moment, and it's like, okay, something didn't happen. We need you to go and fill in. And I did a quick little mind map, like literally on a piece of paper at the conference that I was at. And I was able to just take that and go and talk because it was my whole speech on a little piece of paper. So that's the best way to have a cheat sheet for if spur of the moment speaking, to help you practice, to help remind you of what you're going to talk about. So I am a huge fan of mind maps. So that's probably one thing I would add. So do you have one else that you'd add in?
I think the one I love the most is having an accountability partner. So this is what I do with job interviews as well. Like I could rehearse my own speech, like alone, even recording it. But when I did it together with you, the fact that there was another person on the other side of the world listening, it like gave me a boost, and I really had to focus and give my best. So I think practicing alone on video, a very good tip. It gets you like far, but even better if you have somebody, and then you decide what you do with the feedback, but it just elevates your presence.
I love that. And it was so true. And I think if you practice with a partner, and that was the first time I ever did something like that, where, I literally got on and practiced with you, we did, and we had to schedule that. Like that was actually some logistical thing of like, okay, we have a 30-minute presentation. How do we do this? And we decided, okay, we'll do it in 2 meetings. And one day would be Tiina's day, and the next meeting would be Gillian's day, because we went, that's a lot to take in, because we wanted to make sure the person could do their full presentation. And then we had time afterwards to kind of go over it and debrief and say, okay, here's the stuff that was really good. Here's some suggestions that maybe, if you wanted to make it a little bit better. So to do that positive feedback afterwards and really be constructive about how, you could even take your presentation up to the next level was really, that was such a great thing to do. And I would recommend everybody do that. That's a great takeaway to, and see yourself recorded too, because you might realize, I'm doing things with my hair that I didn't realize I'm doing, or who knows? There's just so many things that not making eye contact, all those things that you have to work at with presenting. So I think that was really good. I like that. So let's see. Introverts. So that was the one thing that Tiina and I had in common. So the question I put up is, how can introverts use their natural strengths in presenting? And that was a key thing, because there was a time where Tiina and I actually just kind of ran with this in our head as we were doing the whole getting ready for Uplift Live, because we were like, okay, not only were we going to be presenting, we were going to be meeting a million people. We were going to be meeting like 200 people that we knew, most of them already. And we're introverts. So it's like we had visions of ourselves being at like the pre-launch party, and Tiina on one side of the room and me on the other side of the room with a little introvert sign that said, help, help, there's too many people here. So do you want to talk about sort of some of the things that how we survived as introverts and sort of thrived in presenting as an introvert?
I think it has a lot to do with energy, and when you planned the day and the hours before. That's what we did. But also when you talk about a subject that you know so well, that's where you thrive. Like you are in your own element, and when you talk authentically about your passion, I mean, you can talk to one person or you can talk to hundreds of people. There isn't a difference. It's really focusing on the purpose and the message and how you want to help other people. So I think that's where the strength comes from.
I agree. I agree. And I know that one sort of tip that Tiina and I had was we recognized because we were introverts, we would have to have some quiet time before we went on stage. And we were actually so thankful that we were in the afternoon, that we had the lunch break. And it literally was at the conference lunch, and then it was me. And then it was, I think, Kevin D. Turner, and then it was you, and then it was Richard Vanderblom. And that was the sequence. And so, Tiina was like, okay, I can be there for Gillian's and I can be there for Kevin's, and I can listen. And so you were able to be okay about being third. And I was like so happy that I was the first person after lunch, and we didn't eat. We didn't eat. We just decided we needed to find a quiet space. And there was a speaker lounge, and we went to the speaker's lounge, and it was like we sat in these little meditation pod chairs that they had in there. And we just went. And I think introverts need to have that quiet time so that when they go on stage, their energy is all recharged. So it's like taking your cell phone and plugging it in and getting it to full charge. I think that's what I think introverts need to do, is make sure you're not running on depleted batteries before you present. Yep. So, okay. So, I'll go to, so here's again our offer today. Our book is $1.99 today only. It's on Amazon, and I actually have a link here. You can go to Amazon, and this is like the short code for anybody that wants to type that in. I think I also have it. Let me just check and see if I have it. I do. I actually have it here. I have it here as like, if you want to scan it in or if you want to type it in. So there we go. That's the Amazon code for today. So I just wanted to show everybody that. So I guess we should go through some comments. Oh my goodness, yeah. we have people here. I thought, I didn't know if we had very many people here today. Everybody said it couldn't make it. It was like, okay, well, we can. So we just kept going. So, Jeff, I know Jeff was heartbroken that he could not be here today. He's presenting because that is his superpower. He is a teacher and he loves to teach. And so that's what he's doing on his birthday, folks. He is teaching LinkedIn because Jeff is the most kind and caring person ever. So
I think there is something you have written in the book, the dedication. Do you want to read it?
Sure. Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
All right. Okay. Let's see if my reading skills. So we put a dedication here right in the front of the book. And here's what's a coincidence. The dedication kind of looks like a heart. So we thought that was quite brilliant that would turn into a heart. So let me read the book. Okay. So we dedicated, here's our dedication right at the front of the book. To Jeff Young. As the LinkedIn guru, you don't just share knowledge, you uplift others and forge genuine connections. Your kindness and unwavering support were our guiding light on the journey to uplift life. This book celebrates what you embody, the power of speaking from the heart. Thank you for being our champion, Tiina and Gillian. So we dedicated this book to Jeff because he was not at Uplift Live, but he literally was there in spirit with us the whole time. So we were making videos for him. We were sending him pictures because we wanted him to come along on the journey with us. So when it came time to finish off the book, we both, Tiina and I, just thought, wouldn't that be wonderful to dedicate it to Jeff? And the very fact that it turned into a heart was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. I love this. And
All
we
right.
put
Yeah.
yes, and we put some acknowledgments in the back of the book for other people that were mentioned in the book, and even some people that, weren't mentioned in the book that were a part of Uplift Live, and we wanted to just kind of give a shout out to. So anybody who gets the book, please check the acknowledgement sections, because I think it's always nice to kind of, give credit to the people that made the journey good for you. So I like that. So Tiina, should I go through some of these comments then?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we have the lovely Annette. Our buddy Annette is here, and she says, excited to celebrate with two of my favorite gals. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
today,
you,
Annette.
Annette.
We appreciate it. We have the lovely Rebecca Wilson, and she says, hello from Scotland. Congratulations on the launch. Thank you, Rebecca. And it was wonderful. We got to meet Rebecca in person for the first time last year. So that was just wonderful, because she was at Uplift Live. So yay. So LinkedIn user, we don't know who you are, but we love you anyway. So good day and congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. And that's always just a setting issue, but we love that you are commenting. Happy birthday, Jeff. See, it's like, is this not the perfect day celebrating Jeff's birthday? Like, we're so glad Jeff was born. So that's wonderful. So we have Christina here. She says hello. And so I know she's already read the book. So she's got a
Yeah.
copy of the book. Yay.
Hi, Christina.
Oh, why don't you also mention Christina's in the book, right? You
Oh,
mentioned
yes,
Christina in the
Christina
book.
is in
So
the book because we are talking about colors, and she works as an image consultant. So her collaboration with her really helped me to prepare for the presentation, and her tips and everything I learned with it's mentioned in the book as well.
Yay. So I love that. Make it fun. So somebody's like, make it fun. We always try to make it fun. So that's good. I ordered mine last night. So that is sweet. Thank you. We love that. And Annette says, sorry, got to run, have a show at 1. Yes, she does. So everybody's got to hop over to Annette's show afterwards. So it's like a busy day on the live. So there we go. Is there anything else, Tiina, that we would want to cover today in this talk?
I think, like you always say, everyone has a book inside themselves. I'm so happy that we got to write this book and that it's not our first book. And just a warning that when you start writing books, you get ideas to write other books. So and really have this experience to write a book together with your friend from the other side of the world has been such an enriching experience, and we got to spend so much time together, not only talk about the book but also other subjects. So if you need help with book writing, the whole process, I think Gillian is the person to go to.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. And it was a joy and a pleasure to work with you, Tiina. We don't have an excuse to keep, we might have to do another book just because we can have an excuse to keep, or we can just meet for meeting's sake. But it was really nice. And it really just goes to show you can collaborate with someone halfway across the world to write a book. You can bring different voices and writing styles. And, here Tiina, her magic was her sketches. And, I kind of did a lot of the back work and, organizing the structure and putting all this stuff. Oh yeah, we did the cover and show the back, and the back is kind of cool too. So even just coming up with the pictures of the back and everything that goes involved with that. And there's so much when you have to do a book. It's like, the description and the back cover and all these different things. But it's a wonderful journey for anybody who's interested in the book. I hope you enjoy it. We enjoyed making it, and it was a wonderful experience, and just all around, I just absolutely loved everything. So yay.
Cheers.
Cheers with our lovely mugs, our lovely mugs. Okay, so with that, I will go ahead and end the live. And again, thank you everybody for being here today and who could join us, anybody who joins on the replay, and look forward to hearing more about our book writing process, because I will be doing more with those clips. So I hope people like those clips. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.